Hi everyone. Today I want to talk about what ZipGrid is doing in terms of innovating society management. Let's look at what I have to say on this subject. So first things first, let's take a look at the industry reality. Let's understand the challenges that are faced in this industry. What are the inputs and what are the outcomes that the industry actually wants? We'll understand why zigs are the way, and we'll also spend some time understanding how we are going about solving the people problem. So, first things first, the industry. There are over 1 million registered societies, condos, and resident welfare associations in India. About 100,000 of them are in the Mumbai metropolitan region alone. FCA, which is Finance, Compliance, and Admin, in most societies are managed by a set of freelancers. So most societies hire a manager by themselves, or they may give a contract to an accountant who comes every week and spends a few hours and so on and so forth. But there's another challenge. The job is now increasingly complex because there are really large communities and housing societies that are being created where there are some complex problems that need to be solved. There is no comprehensive training program that prepares people to cater to this FCA requirement, which is there in societies. There's a serious shortage of talent, which means essentially that you have shortage of talent, you don't have comprehensive training, means the managing committees of these welfare association societies, they need to get personally involved and spend a lot of time to make sure that the society office, the finance compliance, etc., is being run effectively. So, what are some of the things that the managing committee actually wants? They want, on the finance front, they want timely and accurate billing to happen. They want all the payment receipts to be tracked effectively. They want to make sure that the vendor payments are happening the way it should, the tax, TDS deductions, etc., are happening the way it should. And they also want whatever cash payments are happening to be managed in a very honest, transparent, and auditable manner. And what do they actually ask for in order to cater to this? They say, give me an experienced manager who has a good knowledge of accounting. Societies also want complete and updated statutory registers, which is your IJ, share, lien register, etc. They want the NOCs to be processed in an extremely compliant way. After all, they don't want to get stuck with litigations, or they don't want to get accused by the general body of favoritism or anything of that sort, of non compliance. They want adherence to statutory timelines and processes. Taxes need to be filed on time. AGM, SGMs need to happen on time. The filing of minutes need to happen on time, so on and so forth. So, what do they ask for? They ask for an experienced manager with great degree of knowledge of society compliance. They also want the minutes of meeting and notices to happen, in great English, perfectly drafted. They want member interactions to be dealt with in a very efficient manner, somebody with great people skills dealing with them. They want all the queries, requests, complaints to be tracked and closed. Yeah, so these are the various things that they want. And what do they ask for? They ask for an experienced manager with good verbal communication and drafting skills. So I guess you see where I'm going with this. The MC wants certain outcomes, and they believe the only way to get it is by having an experienced manager who is good at accounting, good at compliance, good at verbal communication, drafting skills, etc., etc. Now, what's the reality? The reality or the challenges is that in order to make this happen, the society has to deploy a manager, an accountant, a compliance, a legal expert, a society management app, etc. There is no single point of ownership. The reality is the managing committee spends their weekends away from their family in the society office. They handle personally a lot of stressful calls saying leakage is an issue or this neighbor is an issue and so on and so forth. And of course, the special general meetings, annual general meetings are all very, very stressful occasions for the managing committee. So the expectation is in order to solve all these problems, we need an experienced manager who has a good knowledge of finance and compliance, great verbal and written communication. He needs to be honest and responsible. He should have good people and task management skills, everything to ensure that the society runs smoothly. Now, the reality is that there is no graduation school on society management. A manager of the expected kind, okay, with all of these attributes, would actually be earning 10 times what you pay in, right, in the corporate sector. And if the manager is that good, they're obviously ambitious and they want to look at growth opportunities and constant growth and so on and so forth. All of this is not something that the society or the RWA can actually afford. Now, that's the reality. So, what is ZipGrid doing? What is the innovation we are doing to solve this problem? So, number one, what we've done is we've made this entire delivery of FCA, finance compliance and admin, not dependent only on the manager. Okay, so that's the first thing. We have to make the job of the society manager less important. If we make it so super important, then you need somebody who is super skilled and super talented to handle that job. And we know how difficult it is to get that kind of a person. So, what did we do? We broke the delivery into three essential teams. One called as Laksha, which is our site manager, site accountant, etc. So they are responsible for a small part of the delivery. Then there is a squad. A squad comprises a team of experts who are there to support this manager so that wherever they are falling short or they need help, there is a ZipGrid team behind them making that happen. And finally, we have the Shared Services Center or the SSC, where we have a factory where we have talented people doing accounting, doing all the compliance work, etc. That happens at the shared service factory. So let's first look at Laksha. Getting a manager, we all know, is a problem. So ZipGrid has an elaborate program called as Laksha, where we talk about source, train, and deploy these resources. How do we source them? We have an online community which we've created where we have a bunch of these resources whom we can tap on and try and onboard whenever required. We subscribe to a bunch of online portals, job portals, where we have a lot of aspirants and applicants who are looking for this sector. We ourselves place a lot of newspaper ads. We run a bunch of local campaigns. We put our stalls up outside GDCA exam just to get the right kind of talent. We have institutional alliances. We have alliances with certain bodies, certain organizations who can kind of get these people for us. And of course, we have our own employee referral programs. We're better than our own employees to look for the right kind of resources. But having sourced them, we make sure they go through a detailed training and certification program, which we call as Patshala, which comprises obviously classroom training. There's a bunch of system training where we make them conversant on the software and how to use it to deliver services. We have on the job training where we make sure they are working with experienced managers and getting the experience before they get finally certified. Besides this initial training, which is there, which enables us to make sure they are upskilled before we deploy them, we also ensure there is continuous monthly learning program that happens. So there's about 2 to 3 hours of continuous training each month that is happening for each and every manager of ours. So that's more than 450 learning hours that we have every month. We have ongoing reviews and coaching that is done by the squad to make sure that the manager is upskilled and stays on track. Finally, once we have sourced and trained the Laksha resource, we deploy them. And deployment happens by making sure they know the customer completely, they know the society completely, and they know the squad who's going to support them completely. Right? So this is as far as Laksha is concerned. Now let's talk a little about the squad. The society manager has three pillars below him who are supporting him to make sure he delivers the services. One is the squad leader. The squad leader actually owns the relationship with the society. He's the primary person responsible to coordinate and make sure that service delivery is happening to the society. He's also an escalation point. Whenever something is not getting delivered, just call the squad leader. He'll make sure things are taken care of. He's primarily responsible for coaching the manager as well. Besides this, there is an account leader, an expert in finance. This person is responsible for society finance planning, for billing, reporting, closure of accounts, and audits. Also responsible to ensure TDS and GST compliances are happening. For the treasurer, the account leader is the primary coordination point because all matters relating to finance, the account leader can help you. The account leader is also responsible for coaching the society manager so that the society manager does all the entries and shares all the documents with the shared service center the way he should. We also have a compliance expert supporting the society manager. So often you'll find society managers are not great with drafting skills. So the compliance expert helps the society manager making sure the NOCs are properly drafted, statutory registers are in place, the MCM, SGM, AGM, agendas and minutes are drafted appropriately, and also liaising with the authorities to make sure whenever liaising is required with either with the deputy district registrar office or even the municipal bodies, the compliance expert helps the society manager. So that way we are reducing the complexity of the society manager by making sure there are experts who are helping the society manager perform this complex job. Finally, the SSE, the Shared Service Center, is a success factory that we have. At the back end, all the billing, accounting, and the library. Library is nothing but an online uh, folder and library of all your documents, critical documents that are there, so that whenever you need anything, it's all available right at your disposal, right? So it's this expert success factory which makes sure all the repetitive and complex jobs are getting done right here at the back end. So this is the way ZipGrid has innovated to solve the people problem, right? So we wanted to make sure societies are not looking for this super manager who can do everything, but instead have a normal manager, but supported by some superb people who make sure that the delivery is ultimately superb. So with this, I come to the end of my presentation. I hope you liked this way we've looked at delivery for societies and the innovation thereof. And we trust you'll have a great experience working with ZipGrid and helping your society do really well. Thank you.